Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Corona HQ Insider series. We have Anish today, Anish Daryawan. Welcome, I'm Kinjal here, your host, and today we have lots to talk and discuss with Anish. Anish is uh, basically from an tech HR background. He brings a unique combination of HR consulting, corporate HR, and entrepreneurial experience. This makes him look at HR projects in a very different light and enables him to create solutions which are unique, customized, and in tune with the organizational realities. Anish has been having a lot of corporate experience and consulting experience with Deloitte Human Capital Consulting and combination of Cerebrus consultants, but very recently been having an entrepreneurial experience with Authentic Cook. And today we are going to talk about something very recently Anish has been doing, and he has been exploring his hands on making something interesting. Today I have Anish. He has made a virtual assessment center using no code tools, and being from an HR and different background, not a technical background, he has been able to create a different tool altogether, and I'm going to ask him questions all about it. Welcome, Anish, on board.
Thank you for having me over for this podcast. It's great to be here.
Cool. So let me rewind a bit before I go to the question which I am very interested to deep dive into for this podcast. I'm also intrigued, and I want to understand your background. What have you been doing before you build this tool, and could you just share some of those elements that you have been really interested and been doing since a long time?
Yeah, so Kinjal, you covered some of those points. I've been an HR professional working with consulting firms for close to a decade. I have some corporate experience, and then after that, started my own food tech venture. I've also been working with companies to create HR solutions for their business issues. All these experiences help me look at traditional issues with a different lens. Previously, I was associated with Deloitte in their human capital advisory services, where we worked on projects around leadership development and talent management across the globe. So yes, so that's me. That's what I've been up to before.
Nice. So, Anish, how did this idea about a virtual assessment center came to you? What kind of points, or what was the catalyst? What was the trigger point that drove you to create something like this?
That's an interesting question. So in HR, right, in consulting, one of the areas under leadership development that I extensively worked on was on assessment and development centers. Now, what are assessment and development centers? Organizations use assessment development centers, ACDCs, to create development plans for their leaders. A traditional development center will have about 8 to 12 participants meeting at a given location, and they will undergo a battery of simulations. For example, a case study, a group discussion, an in-basket exercise. And then at that location, they're evaluated by trained observers on different competencies, leading to identification of developmental gaps, or identifying the high potential employees within your group, within the company. One of the projects that I was recently associated with required us to evaluate the current process of development center, which the company was running in-house. Many companies also do it with external consulting firms. This company had an L&D team internally, and they were running it from there. As we went through the course and as we did the pre-work, we realized that the internal team was spending a little too much time in terms of planning, organizing. They were over leveraged, DCs tend to do that. There's a lot of planning, etc., required, and this company had employees all over the world. So you can imagine the amount of time and effort that they ended up putting to run a development center, and that left them with very little time to reflect on the value that they were adding. So that's when we proposed a virtual variant of the development center to them. Glad to tell you that the client was happy with the prospects of a virtual DC, and we actually ran a pilot for about 50 leaders across 6 countries in a matter of a month's time.
Fantastic, that's amazing. So, if you could give us some insights about how many assessments they ran in a year, or what were the efforts that they put before coming up with this assessment center, a virtual assessment center?
So, since the team was based in Mumbai and they were running these assessment centers all over the globe, they had to deal with multiple issues. There's a lot of logistical costs that goes in when you're running a development center, right? From booking a banquet to having multiple rooms because you want to do it in a third-party location. You don't want to do it in an office setting. Plus, you end up spending a lot on travel for your employees, for your assessors. Many a times these assessment centers last for a day and a half, so which would mean accommodation expenses. And these are just the expenses that I'm talking about. On top of that, you can imagine how beforehand you would need to start planning for all these areas. The team that we were working with was doing this in and out. So the numbers would have been in hundreds. We were looking at a small pilot initially of about 50-55 people, just to see what was the cost benefit that would accrue from taking this entire exercise online.
Cool. So you had a requirement in place, but you had a different idea to that requirement, and then you looked at ways how would you implement that as your next step. So what were the options in hand for you?
So that's an interesting story. We were looking at whether we can develop it or getting it developed from an external party. We explored both. Now, you need to understand that there are no tools which are available in the market which can run a traditional development center in a virtual format. The ones which are there are pretty linear with very little possibility of being interactive. Some allow only a one-to-one assessment, but we were looking at one assessor observing 3 participants in a day, and that was simultaneously. Time and money constraints couldn't have allowed us to build a custom platform. Frankly, that wouldn't have made business sense as well to incur that kind of time commitment, effort, and money. There were some thoughts around doing patchwork by using, let's say, a Google Form, Google Drive, but it wouldn't have been virtual and interactive. So that's when a chance conversation with one of the founders of Drona HQ, Divyesh, led us to talking about how we can explore Drona HQ as a platform to create bespoke, customized solutions around assessment and development centers.
Cool. So that is how probably you came to and thought of getting a custom application. And when did you jump into creating one yourself? Were you confident enough to build the whole tool yourself?
Frankly, I wouldn't have had it not been for Drona HQ, because there are so many options out there, and you frankly don't know which is the right one for you, because you want something which is customized, something which is bespoke and meets the organizational needs, and you wanted a tool that could, you could mold it as per your requirement. You're not bound by the tool. You let the tool be an enabler rather than you be a slave to the tool. So that's what I found very interesting about Drona HQ. I'm no developer. I don't understand code. But I knew what the flow of the virtual development center would look like. And using common sense, we are able to create a complete development center platform on Drona HQ.
That's very, very interesting, Anish. Hold on to that thought. I have a lot of questions on this thought itself. Lot of times there are so many makers out there, or probably not makers, they don't know they are makers, but there are so many domain experts like you out there, and who have never ever coded and never ever thought about building a tool themselves. And so what were your initial fears or initial inhibitions about going it yourself, or probably you are a different kind, you would love to create something on your own and you would love to explore and experiment, something like that? So in either ways, what were your initial steps and how did you go? Like probably you took baby steps and tried your hand, did a prototype in the first place, or you did all in? What were your thoughts and how did you go about it?
So, if I remember correctly, right, I knew what the flow would be for a participant who was doing a virtual development center. That the person had to log in, and then the person would see a few activities on the left hand side, and clicking on each activity, a page would open up, which would be a particular tool, a case study, and there should be some space for the participant to enter the responses. So, what I'm saying is, I had a small framework in mind of what the user journey would
Right.
look like, a participant journey would look like. And then it was more about spending time on, the studio, Drona HQ platform, just to see how it works. And if you are comfortable with Excel, and by Excel I mean just simple understanding about how formulas work, and I'm not even talking about complex formulas. I'm just saying just basic formulas. It's more about just understanding that logic once, and then the world's your oyster with Drona HQ.
So can you tell us about your tool? How did you went about making that on Drone HQ?
See, one of the things about making this tool on Drona HQ was that we were able to ideate, execute, and evaluate the process and platform in real time. So, I could create something, I could show it to someone, we could have a okay or a no at that point itself, and then move ahead with it. This provided us an opportunity to tweak the development center as per the client requirement. There was no service request or waiting time. We were in control of the whole thing. The agility that the platform provided was unmatched. And, so the idea of going virtual came about on I think so it was the mid of Jan 2020, and we actually went live with the platform by end of Jan 2020. Now, I in my wildest dreams, I couldn't have imagined that, I would be able to conceptualize, ideate, experiment, create multiple variations, and then go live with something in less than in about 2 weeks' time. So that was it was an exhilarating journey, because every possible, the platform just lets you keep, it helps to explore a lot more things. So you suddenly realize that there are a few things and then you've learned an additional thing, and you can see all your creations, all your works coming together. So that's a high that the platform gives you. And
So,
especially me as someone who doesn't know how to code.
yeah, that's really awesome. So you were telling me that you have from ideation to go live in 2 weeks.
Exactly, and that was the need of the hour, and it also showcased the capability that we could bring to the table to the client, where from conceptualization, ideation to go live within 2 weeks is a lot of I can say a lot of people who know how to code also can't promise.
So what was the first reaction of the customer, the development team or the development DC team?
They were amazed, because we were able to put something in front of them in such a short period of time. And see, we went live in 2 weeks, but we had variations ready before in a few days' time. And with every iteration, we were able to go back to them almost on the same day. So let's say if you had a call in the morning, you could show them something, the changes by in a few hours or in the evening or the next day at most. So that kind of turnaround was something that was very well appreciated. And finally, the way the platform worked, the way the platform performed. So that I think so was the icing on the cake.
I think what we are talking about is an agile delivery, a perfect tool to have an agile and continuous delivery. You can probably add newer features and keep amazing features and add different tools and variations to your platform or tool that you're creating. So can you highlight probably 4 features which you created of your tool or a virtual assessment center, which are probably which are going to amaze everyone who's going to think about it?
So one is you can see assessment centers, as a practice, every person, there is a framework around it, but then you can tweak and you can change it to suit your requirements. Somebody might use a case study, somebody might use in-basket exercise, somebody might use a psychometric, a combination of all these. Somebody might use a group discussion, somebody might use a simulation exercise. So the platform can actually accommodate any activity, any tool that you would want to create. That is number one. Number two is it allows for a real-time viewing of participant responses. So as an assessor, it is very important for me to see what participant A has written for a particular question, what does participant B written, what does participant C done, and I'm able to rate them as an assessor. So there's real-time data transfer. And the third thing is it is pretty simple to use. So a lot of the participants, the way the UI UX came out, the participants were looking at it for the first time and were able to navigate through it easily. So which is testimony to the fact that it was simple, it was easy, it moved with the flow. So I think so these are the three critical things. And having said that, there are other features also. But these, I think, so stood out and defined what the virtual assessment tool is. We obviously integrated it with Zoom as a platform where a participant could answer a question and then get on a call with the assessor, and the assessor would see the responses and actually probe the participant. So we actually leveraged a couple of technologies to create this TC.
Okay. Could you name a few technologies or something, tools that you've integrated?
One is obviously the platform on which the conversation would take place, so something like a Zoom or Microsoft Teams or a Google Hangout. So links were provided for those. The other is every organization has their go-to psychometric tools. Somebody uses a Workplace Big Five, somebody uses a SOZI, somebody uses a DISC profiler. So psychometric tool linkages were created basis. So psychometric tools were also different. So those were, it basically directed a person to a different page for the psychometric assessment. So those linkages were provided through the tool. And there was a timetable in place. So a participant would look at the schedule and understand what is it that they would need to do at a particular time. So, and you had one person managing it. So with this solution, just to give you an idea of how it was managed, the DC manager was based out of Middle East. The participants were based in Europe. The assessors were based in 3 cities of India. So that's how diverse it was. If it would be in a traditional development center, you would have wanted all of these people to assemble at one physical location. So you can just imagine what are, the cost savings and the efficiencies that we've been able to drive with this.
This is really crazy and amazing. I can understand the ways of real assessment center that you have tried to implement, assessing in real time, understanding the body language, probably understanding the person, how they have answered the previous question, and then assessing them. You have integrated with lots of tools. This also highlights how the platform, this DroneHQ Studio platform, is powerful to integrate it with different tools. And you have kind of implemented it with your other tools of psychometric test. As you understand the domain, you want it customized according to the customer.
Yeah, I think so. One of the things that has happened post creation of this virtual tool is suddenly you start looking at all the other activities also with a digital mindset. So suddenly you start looking at, okay, virtual development center was something that you were doing in a traditional physical manner. What are the other activities in HR which you can digitize? And the tool is so versatile that any HR issue which you think you want to digitize, you can get it digitized on the platform.
Okay, that brings me to my next question. What were some skills which are very important as a that you realize that you need as a maker? You know, as a no code maker, you would have some skills, or you thought these are some skills which will really help anyone to create. What, according to you, are those skills that will help anyone bring such tools to life?
I think so. It's the tool is very powerful. One of the critical things that you need as an individual is the ability to visualize what your product and solution looks like. So if you know what the end state of the product is going to be, you're set to begin. A simple understanding of how you need to store data, how it gets retrieved, basis some logic, which you can decide on, is all it takes to manage this beast. So that's all basically.
Fantastic. A simple understanding of data and how you want to bring that data back to your.
And by data, I mean a simple data. So it's not a particular language or stored in a particular this thing. Just basic understanding of how you want the flow to go.
That's the quote for the podcast. A lot of common sense, a complete visualization of what you want to achieve, the end output, and understanding of data, where and how you want to use it. So, as you have already delivered this tool to your customers, so have you been able to replicate, or do you want to give this similar tools to other organizations? Have you taken it across? What are your next steps towards it? Can you scale this?
Yeah, it can be, and it can be customized basis each organization's requirement. Like I said, development centers are done in different manners across the globe. So depending on whatever is the need, any consulting firm which is run, which is a boutique consulting firm, any consulting firm which is run as a proprietorship, any consulting firm which is 300, 400 people, this tool can be used by any of them to create solutions. Basis their specific clientele, basis their specific requirements. We are in talks with a few players who were looking at virtual development centers. And looking at the situation, virtual development centers are there for, it will be there for some time. Yeah.
Cool. So, Anish, any feedback and suggestions for the audience right away who are trying to build something on DroneHQ Studio and going to go on a maker's journey?
Again, very simple. If you have your problem clearly defined and you're clear how the system needs to respond, DroneHQ can do that for you. As you spend more and more time on the platform, the easier it becomes. So I think so. Day 2 was better than day 1. Day 3 was better than day 2. And it just, yeah. And if you don't come from a tech background, you will be amazed at the progress that you've made on creating something which is completely digital without knowing even an ounce of coding.
That's great. Thanks so much for your feedback for the audience. And I'll be sharing a link to your demo to the tool. And probably we'll look forward to more insights, how you scaled it out and what were the benefits achieved by your organization. Thank you so much, Anish. Have a nice day.
You too.